Thank you for joining me, everybody. It's your boy NornRad89 here. A little bit of a different video today. This is the beginning of a new series on my channel, something I've been contemplating and working on for a very long time. I've had this kind of roaming around as an idea in my head for probably almost half a year now. Kind of just been dissecting and choosing what movies and what I want to talk about and how I kind of wanted to go about this. Plus, I made a new intro too as well for specifically this video series that I'm going to be doing, tackling. So there's a lot of work going into this series, and this is going to be my Forgotten Final Girls series. And to really talk about this and to describe it here just in the intro is, we all know the Laurie Strodes and the Nancys, of the world and all that kind of stuff. And those girls are the ones that are normally talked about all the time as some of the most iconic final girls. But this series, I really wanted to highlight final girls that don't get enough love, that don't get shouted out enough, and don't, like I said, get talked about nearly as much as some of those other famous final girls that we all know. So today I wanted to start out with one of my favorites that I want to really talk about, and it's Billy Hughes from Mute Witness in 1995. Today we're going to discuss the movie, the character, and everything, and why I think she is an amazing forgotten final girl. So let's do this. Roll it. So for today's episode, we are discussing Mute Witness, which is a 1995 horror thriller. That's how I would kind of classify this film. This is directed by Anthony Waller, and this film, the main reason we're bringing this up is because of Marina Zudina, who is a famous Russian Soviet actress. She's done a whole host of slew of films from the 80s all the way up to, I believe, 2019. She recently did a film called Gold Diggers, I believe, in 2019. And in this film, she plays Billy Hughes, and that's the main reason I wanted to talk about her, is because I think she is an awesome final girl in this film. And I'm classifying it as a final girl because the stuff that she has to go through and what she accomplishes in this film and the bravery that she shows in terms of a character in this film is why I really wanted to highlight her character, Billy Hughes, in this movie. And of course, you can see right here, Mute Witness, that's the title of this movie. She plays a mute woman in this movie who is a special effects makeup artist for movies, and she's working on a low budget horror film, that slasher film that they're shooting in Russia. And that is really cool because what Anthony Waller chose to do specifically for this film was not have subtitles when the Russian characters are talking, because he wanted us as viewers to feel like we were from her perspective of Billy Hughes. So it really does put us in her shoes. So I think that was a fabulous choice by the director to do that, because like I said, with her being a mute character as well as that, and like I said, we can't understand what the Russian characters are saying in the film, it very much makes you feel foreign to the movie, feel like her, you know what I mean? Like you're kind of misunderstood or you don't understand what's going on. So I think that's a very fabulous thing. And like I said, Billy Hughes, what she has to go through in this film is amazing. Like, I think she's a great final girl. She is, like I said, she works on this movie, a slasher film, but one day she stays kind of late night after work and stuff, and she gets locked in her job. And staying late, of course, you want to do the best you can. She's trying to work on the visual effects and everything. She really is very particular about her effects in this film, and she ends up witnessing another production going on, and it's actually for a snuff movie. If people don't know what those are typically very raunchy, very dirty, movies where people do the most vile things on screen, and it ends up being a reality, you know what I mean? So she witnesses a real murder being filmed on screen, and that's what I mean. It's so cool that she's, like I said, she's a mute witness, and having that kind of meta thing where it's a movie within a movie, because like I said, they're filming a slasher film, and then on the production set of the slasher movie, she witnesses an actual murder. So it's got this really kind of meta flavor to it. So I think it has a lot to offer. This is also one of those films that I just was completely mad at my whole community and a lot of people that nobody mentioned this movie to me. This was one of those blind watches one day floating around on streaming. I just had no idea what to watch. I read the title of it, Mute Witness, and I was like, this sounds interesting, let me watch it. And it was one of my favorite watches in most recent years. And like I said, what Billy Hughes has to go through in this film is a freaking huge event too, because like I said, not just trying to survive. She is a huge survivalist in this movie. She shows off many skills of being in threatening situations and having to survive, like when she is discovered by the men who are filming the scene and they want to chase her down. There's an epic chase sequence, and there's a great sequence involving kind of like a freight elevator where Marina Zudina does some fantastic acting. Like I said, her visual acting in this film is absolutely outstanding because she portrays that frightened, just look on her face, and you can see it constantly, but she's in full survival mode the whole time. You know what I mean? So instead of being frightened and scared like a bunny just freezes in the street, she's like the exact opposite. She's in full survival mode this whole movie. She's like, how do I escape from these guys? How do I let people know what's going on and what I saw and everything? So I think that is really cool that her character, like I said, shows bravery. She's not fearless or anything, but she shows real bravery. Add to that, as the story progresses and we get into the second act and later into the third act, there's more stuff that you unravel. There's conspiracies, there's espionage, and it leads all the way up to having a very thrilling villain at the end called the Reaper, who's responsible for some very dark and twisted stuff. And I think it's really cool that Billy Hughes's character, in this movie, she goes a long way trying to uncover this mystery and do this and solve this mystery, even though she can just walk away. Once she survives and she gets away, she can just walk away. She doesn't have to do the other stuff that she does in this movie, and she really tries to get down into the gritty and figure out what's happening and stuff. But what's really cool and a great choice also by Anthony Waller is Mute Witness. The title of this movie and also her character being mute in the movie has kind of a double meaning as well when it comes to females and how they are kind of represented and how they're viewed in kind of a very male-dominated patriarchal kind of world, how women are typically silenced. And her character in this film is often, when she goes to talk about, what she saw and tell people what she saw, the men don't believe her. The cops don't believe her, you know what I mean? Even her sister's husband or her sister's boyfriend, he doesn't believe her in this movie, and he's her friend, and he's the director of the movie as well that they're filming inside of this movie, and he doesn't even believe her. So it's really interesting that, like I said, Mute Witness, the title of the film, and also her character being mute, goes with a double meaning and where it represents of how women were silenced and stuff in cinema and in a lot of ways in life in general. So you're getting a bunch of glowing recommendations from me. This is a film that I highly recommend, and like I said, for this Forgotten Final Girls project, I really wanted to highlight Billy Hughes as my first one because she is the one that sparked the idea for me. Like when I was thinking about this project and I was really, coming up with the ideas for this was the character, Marina Zudina's character. Billy Hughes was the character that really spawned this idea in my mind. And the reason she doesn't get talked about as much is basically because this isn't really viewed as a horror film. I view it as a horror movie. There is horror elements in here, but it is very thrilling and it has espionage elements and all that kind of stuff in it as well. But that's one reason why it's probably not, and also because she's not in multiple films. When it comes to the Nancys of the world and the Laurie Strodes and stuff like that, and even the Kirstys from Hellraiser, they've been in multiple films. Kirsty was in 3 Hellraiser films. Laurie Strode's been a whole slew of Halloween films. Nancy was in 3 Nightmare on Elm Street films. So because of that, they usually are more talked about final girls. But I think Billy Hughes definitely deserves to be up there in that tier with them because, like I said, the stuff she accomplishes, the survivalism that she shows off in this movie, and the bravery that she does just going on with unpacking this dark and twisted mystery and going all the way through it to solve it, I think is a fantastic, like I said, this is a fantastic watch and a movie that I highly, highly recommend. So thanks for sticking around with y'all as we talked about Mute Witness and Billy Hughes and highlighting her as the first Forgotten Final Girl. Like I said, this is episode 1, and this is a new series that I'm going to be continuing on my channel. I'm not sure how often these episodes are going to come out. I'm not going to try to push it where it's going to be every week kind of thing. This might be like a bi-weekly thing where every other week I'll do an episode on a Forgotten Final Girl or something like that. And like I said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please shout out down below some Forgotten Final Girls or Final Girls that you like that aren't talked about as often as some of the ones that are always put on the pedestals or on the mountains and stuff. And also let me know down below if you've seen this film and what do you think of this movie, because because I would love to discuss with you as well. Please like the video. That definitely helps out the channel. Subscribe if you're new to the channel and have that notification bell poked so you're notified anytime I drop a video. But most importantly, y'all know what's up. Have a safe and happy day. Peace out.